Thank you. That was so wonderful, and what an honor to be with this group of incredible writers. And thank you to Virginia and Lisa for putting this series together. You're bringing so much to our community. As Virginia said, this is a story set in the contemporary American West, and I'm going to start, and these two sisters are struggling to take care of their family's land after their dad has suddenly died. This scene I'm going to read you from, Jackie has been out drinking. She shouldn't have been. There's a cow that has gone missing, and she's looking for it. Jackie rides the four-wheeler across the fields, the sun slipping away, taking with it any warmth from the day. The pair is nowhere to be found. She remembers the time that she and Dad got to the birth too late. 4 coyotes were ripping apart the calf only halfway out of the cow, hung at the hips. Blue and pink tissue littered the pink snow. Jackie had panicked, raised her gun to shoot, stopped only by her dad's steady voice calming the heifer, running the coyotes off. He had known to save the calf, to help her, how to save the cow, to help her birth her dead calf. He had known how to go on from a bad time. After the light dies behind the mountains and the early evening is all shadow and wind, Jackie finally finds Blanca off behind a small hill apart from the rest. She is lying in a pool of mucus, shit, and blood. 2 hooves stick out of her vagina, the placenta making a web around the calf's legs. The young cow grunts at Jackie to get back, to get away. I don't want to be here either, Jackie says. Blanca grunts again and gets herself up, standing, her tail swinging like she might charge. Don't you dare. Jackie stares at the cow's dungeon eyes and makes herself take big, even breaths, building herself up big, to be bigger than the cow. Suddenly, a blue nose slicks out between Blanca's legs. The calf's eyes are glassy. That baby's been in there too long. Jackie needs to hurry. She should have been here an hour ago. Blanca blinks at Jackie, her eyes wet black stones. You aren't your dad, they say. You don't know what you're doing. You're still a little drunk. The cow heaves and twists along her spine. Dad would rope her and snub her down, but the come-along rod is awkward in Jackie's hand. It's a thing she's never used alone. She's mid-crouch, trying to decide whether to wait another minute, or get in there, when a fireball, the size of a car, explodes beyond the lip of the mesa. It burns a hole into the darkening night. The cow shudders and groans in the glow. It's like nothing Jackie has ever seen, as if a cloud burst and flickered across the sky. Then the fire is gone. Jackie edges backward toward the mesa, eyes shifting between the cow and the direction of the flare. Far below, a black screen of smoke billows in the place of what was flame. It's the wrong time of day for brush fires, wrong season. Seconds later, another ball of fire erupts into the air. Blanca grunts behind her, and Jackie runs back in time to see the calf slip onto the ground. The thin, milky coat of the placenta is wrapped around its body like an extra suffocating skin. Jackie darts in quick, rips the placenta off the black legs with her hands, and jumps back before the cow knows she's been there. The calf's sleek white fur shines against the hard soil. The torn arm's length of umbilical cord, ropey and green, flops across her trunk. This is as it should be, except the ears don't move. The eyes are unblinking. There's no cough and no amniotic fluid out of the lungs. Jackie jogs across the several feet of space between her and the calf and falls to her knees beside the white bundle. She tells herself that she has been here before. She's fixed things up and the gamble has paid. But never alone, never on several drinks. She inserts her thumb in one black nostril. The nose is cold, soft. Then her index finger slips into the other nostril and jerks twice. Another flame bursts into the sky. Blanca bellows 3 loud notes and looks at her dungeon eye at her baby. Her gray tongue hangs long out of her mouth. Get out of there, Jackie. It's her dad's voice in her head. She puts her hand on the calf's chest. The heartbeat is there. If she can clear the mucus plug, the baby will breathe, and the entire day, the entire winter will be redeemed. She clamps the calf's mouth shut with her left hand and stops up the right nostril with her right thumb and index finger, puts her mouth on the other nostril and blows, breathes quick and blows again. all the air in her body pushed into that dime-sized hole. One more try. She turns her head to gulp of the air, and Blanca's head is down, ears forward, all 1,500 pounds running at her. Jackie yanks her hand away from the calf and pushes into the ground. There is snow, sky, mud, clover, snow. She is rolling, and then she is not. Blanca whacks at Jackie's ribs with the middle of her forehead, bone to bone. The cow snorts and blows her cud back. The sweet smell of clover, the rotten eggs of methane, all the bile of the cow's gut. Jackie's breath is broken glass, her heartbeat a hammer. This can't be happening. This isn't how it goes for her. She moves her tongue behind her front teeth and tastes iron, blood, and the grit of dirt. There is the sky, another cloud of flame. Yellow and black it rises, like a rooster tail, she thinks, before pain consumes her thinking. So, forgive me if there's any petroleum engineers in the room. When you drill for oil and gas, this is a very simplified version, it's like sticking a straw in a layer cake. And you want to keep control on that gas as it gets, because it wants to move upward as soon as it's released from the ground, whether by dewatering a coal seam or doing what's called fracking, where you use a lot of pressure to crack the sand, tight sands under the ground. If the driller screws up, you get what this book is called a kickdown, sometimes called a kick. When the gas, they don't put enough mud, they don't keep things under pressure enough, and then the gas explodes in these bursts out of the sky. This book is set in a town that is a real town, but this is a fictionalized version of that town. It's a little town called Silt in western Colorado, and there's a real kickdown event that happened there. You can see it on YouTube. And you see these people watching these huge fireballs go into the sky. And I wrote about them several times. I wrote about this event many times for magazines, and it just sort of grabbed me by the gut and wouldn't let go. And that image is really what started this whole novel. I think because of my experience as a reporter, I was very uncomfortable with the idea that you could tell a story from one person's perspective. I believe in facts. I think they're true. I think journalism matters. But I think emotional truth, you really only see what is true and what emerges from the places where everyone's emotional truth starts to overlap and something emerges there. And so because of that, this book is written from multiple perspectives. And I'm going to read you just another little section from Susan, Jackie's sister, who is kind of a failed reporter, and she's come home after her marriage has fallen apart in Wyoming, and she was the one to take care of their dad, and she is having a very hard time at the beginning of this book, and she gets better. But this is at the beginning, and this is, I think, her very small, tiny first steps towards bravery. The ditch road is a mess. Snow, cow pies, mud. Susan might trip and fall off the narrow path and into the brown ice water. She takes another careful step. The dog follows her. He doesn't trust her to walk alone. She stops to rest. She is panting. She makes herself walk to the side of the mesa to stare again at the proof of her failure. The coyotes have made ribbons of the dead calf's skin. Guts hang from its belly. She dragged it here almost to the mesa's edge to let nature take care of things. By summer, the carcass will be nothing more than a pile of bleached bones. Its hair looks so soft near the ears. Its little hoof sticks out like it's ready to walk. She sits down. The ground is hard. Right away, the cold seeps through her jeans and thin underpants. She is like a hose with too little pressure, no way to direct the flow. It wasn't always this way. From here, she can see the ranch as it used to be, all those hundreds of cows in the upper fields like flecks of pepper in a salad. Summers, the clovers turned scarlet. The willows crowding the ditch smelled of wet, of relief. Pushed the cows through a gate in the dust, a mark of accomplishment, rose and drifted. Everyone worked, all of them, almost all of the time. Mama, off in the summers from teaching at the high school, used to haul bales and move hamline, strong as anyone. Susan can't remember her complaining about the long days, about the work. Your mother had the best laugh I ever heard. Dad always said that. But Susan can no longer remember what it sounded like. I don't know what to do, buddy. She looks at the dog. What should I do? He whines and paws at her until, fine, okay. She gets up. One black rubber boot steps towards the edge of the mesa. She pulls it back. Time to go home. Each step takes care. There's a rock, fallen tree, poison ivy. She shivers. She is a giant stick bug. Her coat is too big. Nothing fits right. Even the fat on her feet have melted away. She tried when Ray came. She boiled water, but he could tell it was her fault. Anyone could. Life is never going to happen to you, Susie, Dad used to say when he saw another report card. All her A's lined up like perfect stitches in a wound. You go make that Dunbar name something people talk about. He told her that before he stopped talking. He'd said the exact same thing 6 years ago, the day she left for Wyoming with 20 new reporters' notebooks in her bag and a cheap gold ring on her finger. She stepped into Kelly's truck as if life would roll out a red carpet, and all she had to do was run down it, smiling and thanking everyone for the opportunity. Just a few more steps to the gate, to Jackie inside. The only way to get there is to put one foot in front of the other. Dad wasn't one for metaphor, but he did say that. She stares at her boots. They say, go make something of the day.